Ravi always remembered his father as a distant man, not cruel, not unkind, but distant, like the monsoon clouds that hover for days but never pour. In his childhood, Ravi often ran to his father after a small fall or when he felt scared at night, hoping for warmth, for that comforting hug every child dreams of. But his father would just pat his head, say, "Beta, grow strong," and walk away. Ravi's mother, Meera, noticed it. She would sometimes catch his father watching Ravi play from the veranda, eyes soft, almost wanting to reach out, but he never did. "He loves you in his own way, Ravi," she would say, pressing a hand to his shoulder. "You will understand when you grow older." But Ravi never did. As he grew older, the absence of that hug became heavier. He tried to fill it with cricket games, school achievements, and later, small victories in college. Every award, every high score, he would look for his father's proud embrace. But all he got was a nod, a smile that didn't reach the eyes, and sometimes silence. Ravi had two friends who knew him well, Amit and Sanya. They often teased him, saying, "Your dad is like a Bollywood hero, stoic, silent, full of drama inside." Ravi would laugh along, but inside a quiet storm brewed. He wanted to shout, "I don't need stoic, I need a hug," but his father never offered one. After college, Ravi got a job in Mumbai, far from the small town of Udaipur where he grew up. He had dreams, ambitions, and a life that demanded independence, but even as he met new people, made new friends, and celebrated festivals with laughter, the hollow ache of a father's hug remained. Years passed. Ravi's father grew older too, slower in steps, weaker in voice. One evening, Ravi returned home for Diwali. The city was drenched in lights, children ran with sparklers, and the smell of marigold and incense filled the house. Ravi's mother rushed to hug him, her face glowing with joy. "My boy," she said, her voice trembling with love. But when Ravi turned to greet his father, he found him sitting quietly in the corner, hands folded, eyes thoughtful. "Beta," his father said, voice low, "you've grown up so fast." That was all, no hug. Ravi forced a smile, a little laugh, trying to hide the hurt that still lingered. The next morning, Ravi's father insisted on taking him to the old family temple. They walked through the dusty lanes, past mustard fields swaying in the winter breeze, past shops where the same sweetmeat uncle had been selling ladders for decades. Ravi tried to speak, to make conversation, but his father only nodded at his words, listening but not speaking much. That night, as they sat under the veranda, the sky lit with fireworks from nearby homes, Ravi finally asked, "Papa, why didn't you ever hug me, even when I was a child?" His father didn't answer immediately. He just stared at the sky, at the flickering lights, as if searching for something he lost long ago. Then, in a voice rough with emotion, he said, "Ravi, I didn't know how. I grew up with fathers who never hugged us. My father, your grandfather, never hugged me either. I thought strength meant silence, distance, not weakness. I wanted to prepare you for the world, not coddle you. But I see now." His voice broke, and for a moment Ravi thought he would cry. "I see now that I failed to give you what you needed most. A hug, something simple yet so important." Ravi felt a lump in his throat. His father's words, though late, carried a weight he had been carrying all his life. He wanted to step forward, to embrace him, to finally close the years of distance, but the hesitation was mutual, a lifetime of habit creating an invisible wall. For days, Ravi thought about that moment. He visited the market, walked the streets of his childhood, tried to relive memories he thought he had buried. He remembered the Diwali nights when he lit crackers alone, the cricket matches where he ran to score for the team but never saw his father's cheer, the nights when he cried silently in bed because the hug never came. And yet something in him softened. He realized that his father, too, had lived with absence, not just of love, but of expression. His father's stoicism was a mask, a language of pain Ravi had misunderstood as indifference. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Ravi found his father sitting under the neem tree in the backyard, sipping tea quietly. Ravi sat beside him. They didn't speak. The air was heavy with unsaid words, yet lighter somehow. Finally, Ravi took a deep breath. "Papa," he said, his voice trembling, "can I hug you?" His father froze. He looked at Ravi, eyes wide, unaccustomed to such an invitation. Then slowly, almost as if learning something new after decades, he nodded. Ravi stepped closer, wrapped his arms around the man who had been distant all his life, and for the first time Ravi felt the warmth he had longed for. His father's arms trembled at first, then tightened slowly, carefully, like a river learning its own course. They stayed like that for a long time, neither speaking, neither moving, just holding. In that moment, all the years of silence, of unspoken pain, of unmet expectations, melted away. Ravi realized that love was not always loud, not always expressive. Sometimes it was hidden behind distance, behind fear, behind habits that took a lifetime to unlearn. And sometimes all it took was one brave moment to break through decades of unspoken words. After that hug, things changed. Not overnight, not magically, but slowly. His father started sharing small pieces of his life, stories of his own childhood, the mistakes he made, the fears he carried. Ravi listened, learning a man he had never truly known, realizing that even silence could speak volumes if one chose to listen. Months later, Ravi left for Mumbai again. This time he didn't feel the old emptiness. He remembered the hug, the warmth of it, the courage it took for both of them, and he knew no matter where life took him, he would carry that hug in his heart forever. Years later, when Ravi had a son of his own, he made a promise to himself. That child would never wait for a hug that didn't come. That child would know love in all its forms, spoken, unspoken, embraced, held. And sometimes he would whisper to his own son, "Never forget, a hug can heal more than words ever can." Because Ravi had learned the hard way that a hug, though simple, could carry the weight of a lifetime. And the hug his father never gave him finally gave him the courage to give love freely, without fear, without distance.